Cal Ripken Lahabdil, or whoever else, right? Lou Gehrig. Judaism is about doing what you're supposed to do today. And today, you have an obligation to go and be there for a chassan, to be mesameach a chassan. And if you were to go to his chuppah without any friends there, it would be it would minimize and take away from the simcha big time. Rather daven b'yechidus, forget your streak, and get to the chuppah on time. And that's an amazing story. And he was teaching the value of doing what the right thing is.
Hello, Boker Tov, everybody.
Oh, Boker Tov, Fred, finally, he made it. Okay. So he was teaching him this concept of consistency means doing what the right thing is. Right? It doesn't mean not breaking a streak or davening with a minion. Daven b'yechidus and do the other thing that's right. So just connecting it to the parsha, you see this also, that the Avnei Miluim, right? The Avnei Shoam and Avnei Miluim, which were the most expensive stones used for the Kosh and the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol, were listed last. They came without effort. They were blown by the wind. We see the Nesiim actually made a mistake by saying, let everybody donate. Whatever's left will fill in. They brought that. But it was the wool, and it was, the gold, the silver, the stuff that the common folk brought with the tremendous Dibus Halev, with the tremendous self-sacrifice and effort, that is considered first, that is listed first, because it's the value, what's important to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the value that goes into it. And, okay, so this will be the first time that the shul is closed. We daven on Shabbos. When we take out 2 Sifrei Torah, it's a double parsha, which has double bracha, that we won't do the shul together. And it's difficult. It's painful. It's tearful. But we can inspire ourselves, daven together with our families if that's possible, in our house. Hopefully we have a room designated for where we daven. And we'll do it that way. But as long as we have kavanah, and echad amar b'echad amamit, a lot or a little, but it's the quality that's beautiful, important to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Hashem, and God willing, we'll get through this and we'll be back together soon. Okay, that's a little chizuk Shabbos. Okay, so now we are on Daf Yud Gimel Beis. We'll get through it as much as we can, trying to finish the block, trying to understand these rules a lot of Tumah and Tyra. At the end, there's a phenomenal little summary or review, actually twice during the block. So, and Adam, you don't have today in English?
Correct.
Do you have tomorrow in English?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you'll be able to do it. Okay, so if you remember, we said that there were 18 things. There were 18 enactments or measures that were passed that day. Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel went to that attic, and they argued with each other back and forth. And Beis Shammai outnumbered Beis Hillel, and we went with the Rabbi, with the majority. So mine Yushman Asur. What are these 18 measures? For now, we're only going to discuss the first 10, basically, because that's what the Brisa will the Gemara will bring down a Mishnah that discusses the first 10. So the Gemara brings down this Mishnah, 10 things that are affected with a sheni degree of Tumah, and all of these things that were given the status of a sheni Tumah were enacted that day. The idea basically is there are certain things that are biblical, midaraisa, and there are certain Tumahs that are midrabanan. But the idea is that whatever becomes, there are exceptions. We'll see an exception today when it comes to liquid. But the idea is that generally anything that has a certain power of tumah, when something comes into contact with it, it transmits tumah and makes it 1 degree lower. So you can have a avi avos, which we're not even going to discuss today, but that's a dead human body. Then you have an avatuma, a person that is tameh. Then that can make something that comes into contact a rishon. A rishon can make a sheni. After that, there's really nothing else has the power to continue on. We don't really find shlishi except in regards to truma. A sheni can make shlishi, can make something contaminated in the third degree, which really means it's puzzle, because it doesn't have any more power to give over tuma. It's weakened. That's a shlishi, which is relevant for truma. That will be a big focus today. There's one exception. Anyone know what that exception is? There's one exception that can become a revi, puzzle in a further degree.
Tivul Yom, I just read it, that's why.
No, not full yom.
No? Okay.
No, full yom has the power, you'll see, to make something a sheni. Or
Kodshim.
shlishi.
Kodshim.
Kachim, there you go, kachim. Right, kodesh, kachim. So even though truma is a form of kodesh, but it's a lower degree, it's kachim light. Right, truma has its own distinction, but other kachim, other holy sacrificial parts, that can become a revi, and then dies there. So the Gemara talks about over here like this. Midoraisa really, well, we'll jump right into it. The Tanan, Mishnah says in Zavim like this, Elu posam truma, and we're gonna go through this quickly because the Gemara will dissect each one. The following 10 things, pasal truma. Pasal means they make truma unfit when they come into contact with it. So everything here is the Chachamim gave them a degree, a status of a sheni. Okay, ha'ochel oichel rishon, someone who eats food that is a rishon. So some food that became tameh with a first degree of tumah. So someone who eats it becomes tameh as a sheni, and he would make truma unfit as a shlishi, unfit meaning pasul, if he comes into contact. Okay, because midoraisa, a person can contract tumah only from an ava tumah, a father of tumah, and foods are never ava tumah. So a person can never contract tumah from foods, not by contact and not by ingesting it. But midrabanan, a person does get a sheni degree if he swallows tameh food, not by contacting it, but by eating it, whether it's tameh as a rishon or sheni. We'll see later on what the reason is. Next, v'ha'ochel, ochel sheni. And someone who eats food that's a sheni, here also, the eater does not become a shlishi, the eater actually becomes a sheni as well. He midrabanan becomes a sheni, not lower. And so it's similar to the first, except that the first enactment was where the food is, where it was a rishon. Here the food is a sheni. Okay? All right. Next, v'hashose mashken tamei, someone who drinks liquids that are tamei. If a person drinks liquids that are tamei, he again becomes a sheni. Now, in honor of Zach, because he loves this, go ahead, read number 41 for us.
41 says...
Oh, good morning, Jack. Welcome back. How are you?
Morning. Doing okay.
We missed you. We love you.
Only
Thank you.
7...
Hey, Jack.
Only
Go
7
ahead.
specific liquids are susceptible to tuma, namely wine, honey, bees honey, olive
That's
oil,
right.
milk, dew, blood, and water. Otherwise, yad, shachat, dam.
That's
Yain,
right.
davash, shemen, chalav, tal, dam, mayim.
Excellent. All right, you're going to be tested on that, Zach. Rashos mashkem tamei. Again, so that's the
Pass
third.
that test every day for 30 years. Or
There you go. Va'baresh Reuben ma'im shuavim.
15 years.
And someone whose head and most of his body comes into water that is drawn. Drawn water is ma'im shuavim. So it's rainwater or spring water that's collected in a kli. So it's no longer fit for making up the 40 sa of a mikvah. So again, he bathed in this type of water, he becomes a sheni. Vitar shenaflu al rosh harubo. And here it's similar, but a person who's tahar, and as opposed to the first one really the case is talking about a tvul yom, a person who went to the mikvah because he was tameh, and really he has to wait for Har Shemesh, for the sunset, to become fully tar midoraisa. If after he went and was tovel on the same day, he then bathed his rosh harubo, head and most of his body, in this mayim shuavim, the Rabbana made him tameh, and he has to go through a regular tefillah again to become tar. The next case is a regular tar person that he took a shower basically in 3 lugim of mayim shuavim, 3 lugim of drawn water, and because of the shower, he becomes a sheni. Okay? So the first one's where he bathed himself in shuvim. Here we're talking about he showered with mayim shuvim. V'ha sefer, and a sefer. That means a Megillah scroll, holy scrolls of Tanakh. That is considered, if somebody touches them, the Chum gave them a status of a Rishon, and they become a Sheni. Again, the Gemara will go through each one. V'hayodayim, we'll spend some time on that. Unrinsed hands also are regarded as a Sheni for Tumah, and they can make Truma puzzle. They can make Truma puzzle, meaning a Shlishi. Okay, next. Vatful Yom, number 8. Someone who went to the mikveh that day to make himself tahar, so he is considered a sheni for the rest of that day, all right? Because he really needs Harav Shemesh. He needs to wait for sunset, midoraisa. So, but during that day, he's not allowed to touch truma midoraisa. But he is tahar for chulin. Chulin means mundane things, things that are not holy, and meiser sheni. So since his tumah affects only truma, he's like a sheni, which then will make truma unfit as a shlishi. Okay, as far as chulin or meiser sheni, once he went to the mikveh, he is he's good to go. He won't make a tameh. Number 9, va'ochan v'hakelim shenitmu b'mashkin. 9 and 10. If you have food or kalim or vessels, articles that became tameh through mashkim, tameh liquids, so these foods or these kalim become tameh as a sheni. All right? All right. So even though the liquids were that contaminated the articles were a rishon, midoraisa kalim can only contract tumah from an avak tumah. With Rabbanan, they said that they can contract tumah even from mashkin, even from liquids. Okay, those are the 10.
I have a question.
No,
I didn't get Sefer. What does that mean, Sefer?
a sefer. The Chachamim gave a sefer, like a sefer Torah, or anything with parchment. The din of tumah, of a rishon, and our hands that touch it will become a sheni. We'll see later on in the Gemara.
But we know that the Sefer Torah doesn't receive Tumah.
No, the Chacham gave it a din of tumah that if your hands touch it, you have to be careful not to touch it with your hands. Okay, we'll see. The Gemara will discuss it. The Gemara will discuss it. You're not supposed to touch the Sefer Torah or the parchment with your hands directly.
Yeah, we don't do it right. That's right.
Okay.
But is that because of the Tumah or because it's
Because
holy?
of tumah. Because of tumah. We'll see why. Okay.
Oh, because
Okay. Now with all of them, we're going to go through each one of them right now.
okay.
So
Okay, where are we?
we are on the last line of your Gimel and base.
Okay,
Actually, second to last line.
okay.
All right. So the first case was someone who ate food that is a rishon. So someone who ate food that's a rishon. So we said the person the chum become a sheni, and we said that the person becomes a sheni, and then he can make truma puzzle, or really a shlishi, a third degree of tumah. So that's really a machlokas Tana and Rabbi Yeshua, and the Gemara is going to explain. Man Tana, who is the Tana of the Mishnah? Ochel rishon va'ochel sheni mifsal pasli. That's someone who eats food that's a rishon, or someone who eats food that's a sheni. They make truma, tameh. By contacting it, they make it puzzle. They make it a shlishi. Mantana ochel rishon va'ochel sheni mifsal pasli. However, tamuye loy metamu yudal and 14a, but they don't really make the truma a sheni, which will then have the power to make other things puzzle. It just makes the truma a third. It's puzzle, but it doesn't have the power to go and be metame. It is Rabbi Yeshua. He was the one that taught that Mishnah. Okay, Ditnan. For we learned in the Mishnah. This is talking about food that's tummy as a rishon. as a sheni and a shlishi. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, ha'ochel ochel rishon. This is Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer holds that someone who eats tameh food has the same degree of tumah as the food itself, like we'll see. All right, not like the regular order of tumah transmission, where you contact it, where you always become 1 degree lower than the contaminator. Okay, so this is Rabbi Eliezer. Ha'ochel ochel rishon. Someone who eats food that is a rishon, he becomes a rishon himself. And if he would touch truma, he would make truma what? He
Rishon.
would make the truma a sheni.
Oh, okay.
He
He becomes a Rishon.
becomes a rishon, right? So if someone eats food that's a rishon, he becomes a rishon according to Eliezer. If he touches truma, then he actually makes truma a sheni, which has the power to go and make other truma puzzle. I mean tameh, not just puzzle. Okay, the ochel ochel sheni. Someone who eats food that's a sheni, he becomes a sheni. He gets the same status. Okay, if he touched truma, he would make it a shlishi. It will be puzzle, all right, prohibited, but it's not tameh to make other things. Ochel shlishi, and if he eats food that's a shlishi, he becomes a shlishi, and if he becomes a shlishi, then if he touches truma, what will be the law of truma? Nothing. It's fine. It's innocuous. But only with kachim, he would make it a revi. He would make the kachim, the holy stuff, puzzle. Rabbi Shua says, ochel ochel rishon. If somebody eats food that is a rishon, ve'ochel sheni, or if he eats food that is a sheni, he becomes a sheni himself. So even when he eats food that's a sheni, the Rabbanan did give him the status of a sheni. Similarly, if he ate food that is a rishon, a first degree, he would become a sheni. All right. Shlishi, and if he ate food that's a shlishi, sheni lakodesh. The Chum actually there, he says he will be a sheni in regards to kodesh, to make them into a shlishi. And the ain sheni latruma, but he does not become a sheni in regards to truma. Okay, and for that he becomes innocuous. That's what Rabbi Yeshua says. So our Mishnah is obviously going like Rabbi Yeshua. Now, the Mishnah continues over there. What does it mean, food that is a shlishi? Okay, because the idea is, go ahead. Oh, you don't have it. Zach, number 15.
The generally chulin, unconsecrated food, does not contract tuma lower than a sheni. Only truma and kochim can become a shlishi or a revi'i respectively. But surely one is forbidden to eat truma and kochim that are tameh. How then can the Mishnah refer to someone eating food that is a shlishi? It is in answer to this question that the Mishnah itself adds the next clause.
Right. Because if he becomes a sheni, if he eats food that's a shlishi, what does that mean? You eat food that's a shlishi? How could that mean? Right? If it's chulin can never become a shlishi. It can't go lower than a sheni. Okay, so says the Gemara, b'chulin shenasu al taras kodesh. The case of food that's a shlishi is referring to chulin that was prepared according on the level al taras truma. They were scrupulous to keep it on the level of truma. Okay, so it is talking to chulin, but not regular chulin. It's talking about chulin that was prepared at that high standard of tahara of truma. And as they explain, that kohanim were accustomed to eat truma, and they had to take care to protect it from any tumah. But there were kohanim that were meticulous that would subject their chulin to the same standard of protection in order not to confuse, not to get mixed up. So this type of protected chulin is raised to the status of truma in regards to tumah, and can be affected with the shlishi degree of tumah. Okay, but since food that is in fact chulin, since it is chulin, there's no aver, there's no prohibition against eating it when it's tameh, but it's such protected chulin that the Mishnah is referring to when speaking to consumption of food that is a shlishi. Okay, next says the Gemara. Now we're going to go through each one. Ochel ochel rishon. in a case where somebody eats food that is a rishon. Dan Kavan, welcome. Good morning, Boker Tov. Ochel ochel rishon. If somebody eats food that is a rishon, ochel ochel sheni, and someone who eats food that is a sheni, again, someone who eats food that is the first degree, or someone who eats food that is a second degree, my time of gozer be'Rabbanan tumah. What's the reason the Rabbanan said that he becomes tameh as a sheni? Where was the gezerah coming from? Says the Gemara, sometimes it could be that a person eats foods that are tameh, the shakol mashkin the truma, and while the food is in his mouth, he's eating this food. In order to wash it down, which is common, he'll take liquids of truma, v'shadi lupume, and put them in his mouth, and then he'll make the liquid of truma unfit through the food that's in his mouth. All right? So that is the story with that one. Okay, the Rabbanan realized that people have a tendency to sip a drink while eating, and they were worried that a Kohen might forget that the food in his mouth is tameh. He might take a drink of truma, wine, for example, together with his food. And if this would happen, the food is tameh, either as a rishon or a sheni, and then it will contaminate the truma drink in his mouth. If the food that's tameh in his mouth, either because it was a rishon or a sheni, now touches the truma drink in his mouth, it would make it tameh. Rabbanan wanted to prevent such a thing to happen. Okay, we have to make a shmir of asum shmer shmarti when it comes to truma. The Torah tells us to be very careful to make sure it doesn't become tameh. So the Chachamim made a gezerah that whoever eats tameh food is considered a sheni, is considered tameh, and therefore he's not allowed to even touch truma until he goes to the mikvah. So that was the first gezerah. Next gezerah, shosem mashkin tameh, where somebody drinks liquids that are tameh. If somebody drinks liquids that are tameh, it doesn't matter between a rishon or a sheni. All tameh liquids are really treated as a rishon. He becomes a sheni. My time ago, Rabbanan Tuma. Why did the Rabbanan say that he becomes tameh as a sheni? The zin in the shasam mashkin tameh. It could happen that a person is drinking liquids that are tameh. The shakal ochel and the truma. Similarly, while the drink is still in his mouth, he may take foods of truma, the shadilu pume, put them in his mouth, upasalu, and then he's going to make the truma unfit. And therefore, the Chum made a gezerah and said, no, if you drink liquids that are tameh, you become a sheni, and therefore it would make the truma pasul. Frekti Gemara, Hainuha, you're all thinking the question right away. What's the difference between the food? What's the difference between the drink? Okay. Zach, what are you sending me WhatsApp during Daf Yomi?
Sending it to everybody.
Oh, I can't see what it is because we're learning.
It's
Fiddle.
Arnold
Okay. Says the
talking
Gemara.
about Tuma.
Hainu ha, Frekti Gemara, this is the same thing. Why does it have to be different? What's the difference between ochel rishon or ochel sheni? So what's the difference between somebody that eats food that's a rishon or a sheni, or someone drinks that which is a rishon or a sheni? What's the difference over here? It's the same thing. You might say, then the case that someone that's eating and then he washes it down with the drink that's truma, for example, wine. It's common, you eat and you drink while you eat. But in the case of a drinker, what are you going to do? You're drinking something that is tameh. You're going to go and throw in more drink. That's not such a common phenomenon. Drinking while eating is common, but to drink while you're drinking, that's not where the Chacham don't have to worry about that much. It's not such a common habit. So you might think that the Chacham didn't do that, didn't make the drinker tameh. Says the Gemara, Kamash Malan. Therefore, the Mishnah teaches us this second scenario as well. All right. So now we've got the reasons for the first three of the Shmona Esrei Gezeros. Next, someone whose head and most of his body entered the drawn water. We've seen this Rosh Hashanah many times already. The idea is that a person's head and most of his body is considered his whole body. So if somebody brings his Rosh Harubo, head and most of his body, into this drawn water, my time of goes Rabbanan Tuma, they said that he now becomes a sheni and he can make truma puzzle. This is, again, referring to Tzvul Yom. He went to the mikvah, but he has to wait for Harav Shemesh. And now this scenario, this case happened. He now becomes Tameh, has to go to the mikvah again. So what's the reason Rabbanan made such a gezerah? What's the big deal? Amr Bibi, Amr Vasi, Shevetchila Hayu Toivlan. Originally, Tameh people used to go to the mikvah to become tar. The Meim Arus, in pools of cave water. All right, there were these caves that had, and they had 40 saw of collected rainwater. So it was kosher for a mikvah, beautiful, all hunky-dory. He did what he was supposed to. But they were mechunasim l'shruchim. They were gathered together and they were dirty. They were smelly. After they went to the mikvah, they would pour over themselves this drawn water from these vessels to clean themselves from the cave water because it was smelly, it was dirty. His chilu asom keva. And after a while, this became the common practice. They would go to the mikvah in the dirty, smelly water in the cave, which is kosher, and then they would do this. Gazra aleim tumas. To prevent this, the Rabbanan said that no, you can't do it, it's tameh. What's the reason? My keva. What's wrong if that became the kvius, if that became the set practice? People would mistakenly say that, what's affecting the tahara? Not the cave alone, but the cave water, mikvah, and this mayim shu'uah. Who cares? Let them say that the shower water is also, I say shower water, I don't mean shower water because the next case is a shower water, but just pouring this water on after they went to the kosher mikvah, Vasgate Miran, as we say in Yiddish, who cares? The point is they went to the mikvah that's kosher, so they're tahar. Elam Arava, he qualifies it. Not that they would say both. They would say that it's not the cave water, because the cave water is dirty, so they just did it. They did it by rote. They did it without thinking. Why do people go to the cave to be toivel? Because that's what we do. But then everybody, B'kvius, went and poured this clean water on top of them, and they would say that that's what's really only affecting Tahara. Okay, which brings into mind the story with Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. Right? I'm sure many of you heard of Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, the holy, great posek, the last posek from the last generation, together with Rabbi Yashuv. They were great halachic authorities in Yerushalayim. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, the gentle tzaddik from Yerushalayim, was also Rosh Yeshiva in Kol Torah. And actually, Rabbi Nadav, who's been here for a few weeks and now is back in Israel, he was a very big student of his. So Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach used to go to the mikvah probably every day. And it was known that he would take a shower before and he would take a shower afterwards. Now, I'm not comparing this to this because when we go to the mikvah, it's not biblical or anything. But he would take a shower before and after. So people asked him, I don't understand. You went to the mikvah. Why are you going to the shower afterwards? You shower before, you go to the mikvah, and then go get dressed. He said, before the shower, I take it because of myself. Before the mikvah, I shower for myself because of myself. After the mikvah, I shower because of everyone else. Okay? In other words, the mikvah was a little dirty. So before, he had to clean himself off. He's worried about other people. But then afterwards, he took a shower. All right. Next. Then the next case was talking about a person who was tahar, a regular tahar. It's not someone that was tameh, who went to the mikvah and he's full young, but a regular guy, a regular tahar person, pure. He's pure. And he now pours upon himself, his head and his Rosh Harubo, shlosh lugin mayim shuvin, this shear, this amount of drawn water. My time he goes Rabbanan. What is the reason the Rabbanan said that? No, he now is a sheni because of the shower. All right. And what's the point, as Rashi explains? Rashi just strengthens this question that you can't tell me that there's any worry that this person's going to think that the shower is creating tahara. Why? Because the guy's tahar. The guy's not tameh. So says the Gemara, the Eloha Lokaima. Right? If it's not for this decree regarding the person who is tar, the other decree wouldn't stand. To decree that a shower taken by a Tful Yom on the day of Tefillah makes him tamei, whereas a shower at any other time is nothing, is innocuous for being consistent. People wouldn't understand, Rashi says, the difference between the two, and they would think that just like taking a shower is harmless, so too is the other. So for the decree regarding showering on the day of Tefillah, to gain acceptance for people to accept that, the Rabbanan have to extend it to covering showers at all time in Mayim Shli, in this drawn water. So that's what the Gemara is saying, that if not for the fact that we had this decree on someone who's tar, then the primary decree of the Tful Yom, someone who went to the mikvah on that day because he was tamei, wouldn't stand. Okay? And this is referring to showering, not bathing. That was the whole root of the legislation. All right. Now, so okay, no, that's the way it stands. Okay, so that is now the reason for the fourth and fifth gezeira of the Shemona Esrei. Dilo halo kaimahan. You needed this one with the shower of the pure guy, so people shouldn't get mixed up and appreciate the next one. The Tful Yom. Next, Ron, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
What's the next word, Ron?
What?
What's the next word?
I don't know.
I caught you. You get a virtual slap. The Sefer.
I'm listening to you. I'm looking at the Gemara.
Oh, you don't have a Gemara?
I have. I'm watching you while you're talking. I'm not watching.
The Gemara is much more pretty. Watch the Gemara. The Sefer. Okay. The Sefer. And now we were talking about the case of the scrolls. Okay. My time it goes to Rabban and Tuma. What's the reason Rabban goes to Tuma? In the beginning, people used to hide foods of truma, Eitzel Sefer Torah, near the Sefer Torah, Amru, and they said, I Kodesh, Truma's Kodesh, holy, Bahai Kodesh, and the Sefer Torah is holy, or the scroll is holy. So that's a good place to store them. Even the Gachazah to Gasalab say that when Rabbanan saw that because they did this, the Sfarim, the holy books will become damaged because the mice would hang around that food, and once they get attracted to the food, they would start eating the cloth. They would start eating the scrolls, the parchment. Gazrbe Rabbanan Tuma. Rabbanan said, no, that the Sfarim have a degree of Tuma, and if Truma would contact the Sefer Torah has a degree of a Sheni, and Truma, if you put it next to it, will become a Shlishi, will become puzzle, because they don't want to store Truma together.
From the Torah, the Sefer Torah never gets Tuma.
What?
Yes, the Chachamim gave it a din of a Sheni. Okay? Don't think of it as a bad thing. That's something that's important to stress. The Chachamim gave it a din of a Sheni to be able to passel Truma. Okay?
Yeah, the Sefer Torah never gets Tuma from the Torah.
Okay, I answered you. You don't want to listen, you don't have to listen.
I didn't understand what you're saying. You don't have to be rude. Just tell me what you meant.
The Tuma that they imposed on the Sefer is a Sheni, and therefore it makes Truma. Okay, in regards to Chulin, the Sefer Torah does not have any Tuma.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. The Torah doesn't get
in regards to Chulin.
So no, wait a minute. So let me add, I think what is the Sefer Torah mitameh. It can cause something else to be ahead. But can we cause? Let's say I'm an Av Tuma. Okay, I'm a Rishon, and I touch the Torah. Does that make the Torah puzzle? That's what I think he's asking.
No, the Torah never
Does it make the Torah not puzzle? Does it make it tameh?
No.
I'm asking him. I'm asking Rabbi Rappaport. I know I've heard this before. What you're saying, Ron, but I'm asking Rabbi.
No,
Rappaport.
I believe. 100%. 100% it can make it tameh. 100%.
Okay, so why we have a sentence in the Torah says, מימינו אש דת למו. מה אש לא מקבל טומאה, אף ספר תורה אינו מקבל טומאה.
Yes, that's correct.
That could be, but if a tameh, that means I have to understand how we understand that pasuk, but we know that someone who is tameh, a nida, a metzora, a zav, or a zava, is usher to touch a Sefer Torah.
I've
Why?
not heard that. That's
Why?
I've not heard that. I've heard that that's not true.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
It's
I
usher,
agree with Rabbi Paul.
It's usher to touch a Sefer Torah, 100%. It's usher to touch a Sefer Torah. And
Okay.
Maybe
in a state, a nida, or any of those that are pasum d'oraisa, are during their state of tuma, are usher to touch any
Okay,
kodesh.
now, Rabbi, they may be usher to touch it, but if they do touch it, does that make the Torah tameh? That was the
Yes,
No,
we'll
doesn't.
clarify.
we
We'll
have to-
clarify and get back to everyone on the
Okay,
next
thank you.
on the
Thank
next
you.
on the
Thank
next
you.
sheet. Okay, but over
Yes.
here, the Chachamim gave the Sefer Torah a gezerah of Tuma as a sheni, again to stop Truma from touching it, because it would definitely make Truma tameh. I have to see. I don't have time to look at the bottom to see if they deal with any of this. I'm just scrolling quickly. Just 1 second. Note that there is no way of cleansing a holy Torah. Just 1 second, 13:48. Let's look at this quickly.
It says over here in number 27 by my Gemara that the reason that they shouldn't touch it is not because they make it too much, because of kavod Sefer Torah, בגלל הכבוד of the Sefer Torah. That's why. The Tuma. You can't.
What number was that, Ron? What number?
No, he's in the Hebrew.
In the
Okay.
Hebrew it says, ונראה שהאיסור לאחוז ערום משום כבוד ספר תורה. The reason that you shouldn't touch the Sefer Torah naked משום the כבוד התורה, Sefer Torah.
No, yeah, that we're not up there yet. We'll get to that in a second. That's later on. We're getting
So
to that in a second.
So according to this, maybe also the same thing with Nida and the rest of it. Mishum kavod la Sefer Torah, but not Mishum that you're going to metameh the Sefer Torah. Because as I mentioned before, Sefer Torah can never get tameh because of mimino esh dat lamo. Like fire doesn't get tuma, same thing the Torah can never get tuma. So I believe that
Okay,
this is,
we'll look into it. I'll get back to you. Next,
Thank you.
Yadayim. And in regards to, so that was the sixth. In regards to Yadayim hands, then they say Yadayim askaniosein, because a person's hands are always active, they're always moving, and they become dirty. They're going to touch parts of a body or somewhere which is not clean. Therefore, Zok the Chazal that hands that are not rinsed become tameh, and they would make truma into a shlishi puzzle. Okay, that's the seventh. Okay, Tana says the Gemara. Af yadayim abos machma sefer. Here we have a brisa that doesn't talk about stam yadayim, but it says even yadayim that come into contact with the Sefer Torah, posel says at truma, they are considered tameh, and they make truma into a shlishi, unfit tameh. Mishum de Rabbi Parnach, because of Rabbi Parnach. Damer Parnach Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Parnach in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, ha'oiches Sefer Torah arum, someone who holds the Sefer Torah arum without a covering, that's what it means, naked, bare. Nikbar arum, he will be buried bare. Okay, so it's usher to hold or touch the Sefer Torah directly without its cover, without some type of cloth. To touch a Sefer Torah with our naked hands, bare hands, is considered, according to the Ramban, disrespectful. They might not be clean. Okay, so in order for the Chachamim made a siyag, a zera, to strengthen the Isser against touching the Sefer Torah, they said if someone does so, his hands now become tameh like the Sefer itself, like we'll see. Okay, and they have to go through Netil Sidayim. All right, and this is not just referring to Sefer Torah, it's referring to any Sifrei Kodesh, like the Mishnah in Yadayim says. Okay. All right. All right, this only deals with the parchment, not with their rollers. Rollers can be held, obviously, with their bare hands. So this is what Rapana says, and therefore the Chum said that any hands that come in contact with the Sefer Torah, they will become a sheni to make truma puzzle. Says the Gemara, they're going to be buried naked. Arum sakadaitach, no tachrichem. Could that be? We've had this before. Where do we have this before? Let's see exactly. It's Gemara in Brachos, I believe. We had this before. Come on, quickly. Hold on. Oh, he just brings the Gemara. He just brings the halacha. Oh, sorry. No, I'll tell you where we had this. Megillah. But we had it also in Brachos, I guess. Okay. Anyone, could it mean that he gets buried naked alam Reb Zera or b'lei mitzvahs? No, he's buried without mitzvahs. He loses his rewards. B'lei mitzvahs sakadaitach. Because he was oiches, he held the Sefer Torah naked, he's going to lose all of his mitzvahs. Could that be? Ela ema aram b'lei mitzvah. It means that he loses that mitzvah, the mitzvah he was doing at the time, whether it was hadba, whether it was learning, or whatever it was, he does not get that mitzvah. He loses it. Says the Gemara, Hi Gazer Bereisha. Which gezerah, which decree came first? Okay, because we have two decrees over here. One is of the Shemona Esrei that regular dirty hands, unrinsed hands, are considered tamei because they're always moving, and the other ones, that hands that touch the Sefer Torah, are tamei. Which one came first? Hey Gazer Bereisha. Ilema ha Gazer Bereisha. If you're going to say that this one, meaning the one of the Shemona Esrei, the regular unrinsed hands, was Gazer Bereisha, Yudalam Beis, Kivin Hak Gazer Bereisha, Hasulamali. Once you have the first decree that unrinsed hands are tamei, so then you don't need the second decree, right? Touching a Sefer Torah. If they said that all hands are tamei, so obviously hands that touch a Sefer Torah are not going to be excluded, explains Rashi. So what do they need the second decree? Okay, decree. Elahach Gazer Bereisha. You're right. Really, first, the Chacham said that any hands that touch a Sefer Torah or a holy Sefer become tamei. All right. V'hader Gazer b'kuli yadayim. Then they said generally that any hands are considered tamei. Okay. All right, there are nafkaminas, really. There are nafkaminas. Differences between the two. So the first decree imposed tumah on all cases of hand that touch the Sefer Torah, whether the hands were washed before or not. So even if somebody rinsed their hands just before touching the Sefer Torah, they still become tamei. That's not one of the Shemona Esrei, because it could be that was enacted before. These Shemona Esrei, we'll see others, were only those in the attic on that day, with the Talmidim Beisham Beithilo. After they made the second decree, you'll ask, okay, fine. The decree for the Yadayim and the Sefer that touch the Sefer Torah was first, but then they made a second decree that any hands, because they're moving, are tamei. So what do you need the first decree after that? It seems redundant. No, because we talked about if he rinsed his hands first. So they're not tamei on account of the second general decree, but they will become tamei because he touched the Sefer Torah. In other words, if he washed his hands before, they wouldn't have the second decree. You only have the first. Utvul yom. So that was the seventh. Now we're on to the eighth. Tvul yom. A person who went to the mikveh that day, he's a tvul yom. So till he has hair of shemesh, even after his mikveh, he is considered a sheni. Tvul yom daraisa hu frekti gemara. What are you telling me, that this is a drabanan? Someone who went to the mikveh that day is not allowed to touch truma, and if he does, it's tamei. Biblically, dichsiv uba shemesh v'tar. Right? The full pasuk really says. Uba shemesh v'tar va'achar yochel menakachim kilach mohu. Right? He's not allowed to eat from holy foods unless he bathes in the mikveh, and the sun shall set and shall become tar, and then he can eat from the holy food. So how can you propose that it's part of the Shemona Esrei? Says the Gemara, you're right. Sami mekan tvul yom. Remove from these 10 or these 18, these 10 in the Mishnah or the 18 in general, someone who was a tvul yom. Okay? Because that is Asr Midaraisa. All right, different from the other 9 where they get their tumah midrabanan. Next, foods that contracted tumah from tummy liquids have a sheni b'mashkin demai. Says the Gemara, these foods became tummy from liquids. Where did those liquids contract tumah? If you're going to tell me that the foods contracted tumah from mashkin, from liquids that became tummy through a sheretz, a dead, creepy, crawly animal, doraisa nenu, those foods are also doraisa, because those liquids that now go and are metame food, right? That is asum doraisa. They have a status of a rishon, and the foods that touch them are sheni midoraisa. The chomashke asher yeshaseh. Any liquid that can be drunk. B'chokli yitma. Any liquid that can be drunk, the pasuk says, in any vessel, shall become tameh. Yitma. That's the way we read it. Yitma. So if that's the case, why is it rabbanan? Ella, you're right. The mashkin aboyin. And by the way, the word is that we read b'chomashke asher yeshaseh b'chokli yitma. Right? We read it. We go according to Rabbi Kiva. That yitma means yitameh, not just it can become tameh, but it makes something tameh, midoraisa. So ela b'mashkin abon machmas yadayim. You're right. This food that touches liquid is talking about liquids that became tameh through unrinsed hands. Gzeira mishumashkin abon machmas sheretz. And the Chachamim said, lest you get mixed up or come to touch mashkin that came in contact with the sheretz. So they connected the two, and therefore they said that the hands, the food will become a sheni and make truma pasta. Next, let's go through these a little quickly. Any kalim, vessels, articles that became tameh from liquids, they get a status of a sheni and make truma pasta. That was number 8. Now we're on 9. Kalim ditlu mashkin demad. Again, these kalim became tameh with liquids that became tameh from what? Ilem of the mashkin dezav, if the kalim, the vessels touched, came into contact from liquids that came out from the emissions of a zav. So this zav is the one that had these seminal emissions, and a zav is an avatuma, and he can go and be metame adam, people, or kalim, or articles by contact. All right, and not only is the zav an av, the parent tuma, but even his liquids, his secretions, i.e., his spit or his urine or these things, have that power. Okay, and it's really, again, like I said, not just a zav, it's a yoledis, a woman who's given birth, a nida, a metzora. All of these people have a din of avatuma, and their secretions have a din of avatuma. So if the kalim touched the mashkin of the zav, doraisa nenu, that's awesome. But doraisa, not rabbanan d'chsiv. It says in Vayikra, in I believe in Achremos, I believe.
Yes.
No, Tazria. V'chiyar katzav batar. If a zav spits on another person that's tar, he has to go in the mikveh. He has to be told everything, and he's coming until the evening. Mashbiyat tar timesi lopa. In this pasuk, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, when something, meaning this emission, this liquid, is merely held in the hand of a tar person, I make you tameh. So how can you say that the tum of these articles is one of the Shemona Esrei Gezeros, enactments? It is aser midoraisa, ela b'mashkin haboim machma sheretz. The Mishnah is referring to mashkin that became liquid, that became tameh through contact with a sheretz. Ugezera mishum mashkin dezav, and they made the decree based on not getting mixed up with liquids that are the secretion of a zav. Okay? Now, just one thing. 21 is very important. The Gemara is going to go on to other stuff, but here's a review of the first 9. All 9 enactments resulted in items becoming a sheni, and the first 3 concerns were consumption of tamei food or drink. Can you eat food? Boker tov. Someone who eats food
Call
that's
you
a
back
rishon.
later. I'm studying.
Someone who eats food that's a sheni.
Call you back in a little while. Bye-bye.
Someone who drinks tamei liquid. All right. And then the fourth was about washing oneself with she'uvim drawn water. Someone who bathes in she'uvim after his tefillah on the same day. Someone who showers in she'uvim. And then the next two were the gezerah preventing damage to Sifrei Kodesh and the desecration of Truma, holy scrolls, unrinsed hands. And then liquids are always graded as a rishon and cause fruits with a masheni. And then liquid can contaminate articles, make them a sheni. Okay, there are two other cases of sheni that the Gemara mentioned but are not part of the Shemona Esrei. One was the Tvul Yom, but that's Midoraisa. And the second one was rinsed hands that touched a Sefer Torah. All right, Frek the Gemara. Let's go a little further. This goes quickly. The Adayim, when it comes to the hands, Talmidei Shammai V'Hillel Gazer, was it really the Talmidim of Shammai and Hillel that said that they become Tamei? Was it the Talmidim on that day that made the Gezerah? Shammai V'Hillel Gazer, actually Shammai and Hillel themselves. How do we know that? How do we know that Shammai and Hillel made the Gezerah for unrinsed hands to become Tamei? Because again, we said that they're Askanias, they're moving, they're touching. The Tanya we learned in the Rice, Yossi ben Yoezer is Shreda, Yossi ben Yochanan from Yerushalayim. Yossi ben Yoezer from Shreda and Yossi ben Yochanan from Yerushalayim, they were the first of the Zugos, the pairs. Okay, they lived in the time of the second Beis Hamikdash, right before the Zman of the Hanukkah miracle, and until about 100 years before the Churban of the second Beis Hamikdash. So Yossi ben Yoezer was the Nasi, and Yochanan ben Yochanan was the Bezdin. Right? You had the leader, and you have the Bezdin, and they were Gazru Tuma al Eretz Ha'amim. They decreed different things. They decreed Tuma on the Eretz Ha'amim that had to do with the outside Eretz Yisrael, because they're worried about the Kvarim. Even if non-Jews Kvarim, people will bring back dirt. These and on glassware, which is not referred to specifically in the Torah. Shimon ben Shetach. Then we have Shimon ben Shetach. Okay, he was the Bezdin in the third set of Zugas. He was the middle of the 5 sets of these Zugas, these pairs. He was Tikkun Ksuba L'Isha. He instituted Ksuba for a wife that it's not something that's designated. He cannot just designate a specific thing, but she can actually take from any part of his property, which would be a deterrent from him just saying, okay, here, take your ksuba and go. Because her tumah klima tachas, he also decreed tumah on metalware, not specific in the Torah. Vishamai v'Hillel, and this is the key, Shammai and Hillel were gazer tumah al yadayim. Shammai and Hillel themselves, who were the last of the Zugas, they decreed themselves Tumah on unrinsed hands, that they become a Sheni, the second degree of Tumah, to make Truma puzzle. So here you see that it was Shammai and Hillel themselves, not their students. And maybe you want to say that when the Brisa speaks to Shammai and Hillel, it really means with their students. And therefore it's not a contradiction. Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yehuda says the name of Shmuel, Shmona Asar Davar Gazru. There were 18 measures that were decreed when they took that vote. Ubishmona Asar Nechlaku. And all of the 18s, the 2 yeshivas, the 2 schools of Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, argued. V'ilu Hillel v'Shammai, but Hillel and Shammai, really Hillel and Shammai only argued in 3 specific places. Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel disagreed in over 300 cases, but Hillel and Shammai themselves only argued on 3. Tomorrow, when you learn the Daf Tesvav, you'll see what they are. The Amar of Shlosha Mekomas Nechelku V'Sulo, and no more. So how can you say that they were parties to these 18 different disputes of Shammai and Hillel? Were not, obviously. Maybe you want to say that Hillel and Shammai came and said that they're only going to suspend Truma that was touched on unrinsed hands. When you have these Yadayim that are not rinsed, and they said that they have the power to be a Sheni, to make Truma puzzle, it doesn't mean that it's puzzle. It just means that you can't eat it and you don't have to burn it. But also Tamidayu Begazu Lisrov, and the students came and they decreed that no, you got to burn it. Amar Ilfa no Yadayim Tchilas Gzeros L'Sreifa. That original decree from the beginning, when it says in that mission that Shammai and Hillel, like Shimon ben Shetach and Yossi, those Zugas decreed Tumah on the hands, it was a full-fledged ban where it made Tumah possible that you have to burn it. So what's going on? Was it the students or was it Hillel and Shammai? Ella Asu in a Gazer. Hillel and Shammai came and decreed Tumah on the hands. Below Kiblu Minayu. But the greater population did not accept it. They weren't scrupulous. Later on, the Talmidim came, issued the same decree, and at that time, the population accepted it from them. It was really passed twice in the same way. All right? It didn't gain acceptance by the masses because the Pnei Yeshua explains that to burn Truma at that time, to go so extreme, it just didn't take effect until the Talmidim did. We'll just end with this. Ve'akati Shlomo Gazer. What are you telling me that it was Hillel and Shammai? It was way before. Shlomo HaMelech did it. At the time when Shlomo HaMelech instituted the laws of Erev and Erev Chatzeros, which we talked about earlier in the Masechta, where you have the courtyard, the different houses into one adjoining courtyard. To be able to carry from the private domain into there, you have to bring together an Erev of the Chatzeros and rinsing the hands, Yadayim. Yadayim, Natilas Yadayim was enacted by Shlomo Melech, cleanse the hand from Tumah before they would come into contact with anything. Yatzis Abaskal, a heavenly voice, came out and said, B'ni, my son. Right, this is in Mishlei, B'ni im chacham libecha yismach libi gamani chacham b'ni v'samach libi samach libi v'shiva charpi davar. If your heart is wise, my heart shall rejoice too. Be wise, my son, make my heart glad. And I will answer something back to whoever disgraces me. Okay? All right, so the point is that we see that it was Shlomo Melech with the Greek Tumah. Says the Gemara on to Tespah 15a, a little bit for tomorrow. Says the Gemara, Asa Shlomo Gazel L'Kachim. Shlomo only decreed that the hands that are Tameh in regards to Kachim, right? The holy food only. Okay, that's what he instituted Natilas Yadayim for. But things that are not as holy, like Kachim, like Truma, they were considered tar. Va'asu inu came along Hillel and Shammai and said, no, Gazru afla Truma. Even for Truma, they will become a sheni made pascal. Dufa, one last few lines. Amr bin Shmuel, Shmolas or Gazru, B'Shmolas and Nechleku. We just said that there were these 18 different measures where Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel argued. The vote was taken, and they agreed with Beis Shammai because they were the majority. But Tanya, right? So 18 they decreed, 18 they argued. But Tanya, we looked in the Brisa Hushku, that they agreed on these, and there was no difference of opinion. Says on that day they differed. On the next day, they all agreed. So while they deliberated, of course they argued Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. At the end of the day, when the vote was taken, and Beis Shammai prevailed because he was the minion after a Rabbi Lahatos, Beis Hillel changed their mind and agreed with Beis Hillel. Okay, who's Deborah on the line over here?
What?
Who's on the line? Debbie Runkle?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you picked the easiest block to join.
Well, I'm really waiting for the 8:30
Yeah, we're running
class.
way
I
late.
don't mean to disturb you. Can you see me? Can you see me?
No, I
All right,
can't
bye,
see you.
everyone.
Anyway, everyone, have a wonderful Shabbos, and we'll see everyone Sunday morning, 7 o'clock.
And don't forget to check the Tumah of the Torah if you touch it.
I will check to the Tumah and get back to you in great detail. Chazak
Thank
Baruch. Tizkel mitzvot.
You too. Good Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos.
Bye, shalom.
Rabbi
Yeah.
Rappaport,
Yes.
can you see me?
No, we can't see
I
you.
cannot see you. I can hear you.
Oh,
I
I
can't see you.
cannot get the video to work. I can see you.
On the
If you
bottom
click
left, there's a thing that says
on
video. You have to click on the video, and then you'll come in on
Right.
video.
Are you on your phone?
There's
or
a thing that says Jack Exler.
Yes. Are you on? Debbie, are you on your phone?
No, I'm on Zoom.
So on Zoom, if you move the mouse, you'll see that on the bottom left, it says Start Video.
It says OSTT streaming.
Yeah, but there should be